Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time today to join us in our very first AthenaDAO Entrepreneur in Residence pitch competition. We're very excited about this first step that we're taking to find amazing entrepreneurs to match to amazing science. My name is Laura Minkini. I'm the core lead of AthenaDAO. We are the decentralized platform focused on women's health research funding, education, and scientific research. Today, you're going to meet some amazing founders. The idea that we came up for this pitch competition was around the notion that we had heard that a lot of amazing entrepreneurs did not get funding because there was no scientific data or no clinical data backing their ideas. So we thought, why don't we flip the script and start with the science first? So based on a scientific research project, we went out to look for 5 finalists. All these women have very accomplished careers as scientists or entrepreneurs and Fortune 500 companies. They're going to pitch a concept around the scientific project. Today, we're not focusing on the R&D part as AthenaDAO would be their partner. We're focusing on their skills, on how they pitch, on their notion of being motivated entrepreneurs to take women's health forward. With me, I have an amazing set of jury panelists who are going to be evaluating the live pitch competitions. We have 5 finalists. They're going to introduce themselves when they do the pitch competition. And I'm actually going to let our amazing jury also introduce themselves. We're going to take about an hour to do this. There's going to be also an amazing femtech panel, femtech and women's health panel, in which you're going to see some of very well-known figures in femtech with or ops lead Ines Santos Silva talk about where things are at today. So without much ado, I'm going to let each one of our jury members introduce themselves. I will actually announce them, and then we're going to get going on the pitch competition. So the first one is going to be our very own science lead, Dr. Maria Marinova. I'm going to let her speak now. Thanks, Maria.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. I'm Maria. I've been at AthenaDAO at the very beginning. I'm the Science and GeoFlow co-lead. And I was very much involved in the first cohort of ovarian aging project, where the science for this pitch competition is coming from. So we've been talking to Mario since the beginning, and I'm very excited to see the pitches today and how his project can come to life. Previously, I was in Apollo Health Ventures, working in venture creation and venture capital. And before that, I did my PhD in reproductive aging and ovarian longevity. So this topic is very close to my heart.
Up next, Dr. Mario Cordero, our very first IP NFT.
Hi, everybody. It's very, very nice for me to be here today because this is a very interesting opportunity to see the form to have a commercial idea or improve the community, the form to have our finding in the laboratory, because it's difficult to have the finding from the laboratory to the people. This is the more close opportunity in my life to have the finding in the opportunity and the opportunity in the lab next to the people. So for me, it's very important to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. We're very excited that you are part of this ecosystem now. Next up, Dr. Lene Brabo. I love sometimes doing that riff with their last name. I'm very excited to also announce that just today at AthenaDAO, the governance to fund Ovum Care, the new company that she co-founded into AI and fertility, has passed at AthenaDAO. So we're very proud to be part of the Ovum Care family. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Laura, and thank you to AthenaDAO for accepting us into this lovely and wonderful community. My name is Dr. Lene Brayboy. I'm the co-founder and chief medical officer for Ovum Care. We are a hybrid IVF clinic that leverages AI tools to improve IVF outcomes. And we are based in science and based in women's health. We hope to be the IVF clinic of the future, leading the charge with R&D and innovation. And so I'm proud to be here as a jury member, not only as a founder and a scientist, but also someone who's passionate about women's health and the future.
Thank you, Lene. And last but not least, one other thing is that I'm very proud that all our jury members are scientists who became entrepreneurs, founders, investors. Dr. Alok Tayi, the CEO and founder of BioBio.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. Great to participate in today's panel. My name is Alok Tayi. I'm the CEO and co-founder of BioBio. We analyze and invest in high potential therapeutics and use software to help us identify the best to pursue. And so my background, as Laura mentioned, is as a scientist. Spent 15 years at the bench, built then a few software companies focused on the life sciences industry, and then started BioBio about 2.5 years ago after my daughter was born with 2 different rare conditions that had no dedicated treatments. So we're excited to support high potential medicines, but also projects like AthenaDAO that bring new sources of capital and new communities to the table and empower them to identify and fund treatments for the diseases that they care about. So thanks for the opportunity and excited to meet the guest today.
Thank you so much, Alok, and to all of our jury members. So this is how it's going to work out. Each entrepreneur is going to pitch for 4 minutes, and then they're going to get questions for 2 minutes. Then there's going to be a panel while the jury members go back and tally their counts and have a conversation to choose one finalist. After the panel, we'll announce the finalist. So everybody knows the finalist is winning attendance to our first AthenaDAO invitation-only summit, and it's taking place in Portugal this summer. They're also going to be our first entrepreneur in residence, which is a fellowship program for about 3 months. And if they so choose to, they could actually be the founders of a stealth company that we're working on. So without much ado, I want to wish all the finalists all the best. All of you are winners regardless. And no matter what happens, we hope that all of them do want to come and join our fellowship program later or even stay now. So we're going to start first with Maria Suciu. Please, Maria, all the best, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to kick this off and tell you all about Revive Therapeutics. But first, why should you listen to me? So I'm a scientist with a long-standing interest in women's health. I currently lead drug discovery, R&D in a pharma company, but I'm also a successful builder and operator in the charity field for an educational charity. But what my career doesn't say about me is how I navigate this world as a woman together with my close friends. And this summer entailed undergoing IVF process together with my partner, which exposed me to all the grueling aspects of the process and made me particularly excited to talk to you about ovarian aging today. As you may know, we are born with a set number of eggs in our ovaries, and as years pass, this number drops. This is known naturally as menopause, but diminishing ovarian reserve can also happen because of other causes. IVF can help us by stopping at this third stage over here before it's too late using hormonal treatments. However, some of us do not have the luxury of knowing when this will happen. This can be because of genetics, chemotherapy, or other unknown factors that lead from a diminishing ovarian reserve to infertility, menopause, and compounding health concerns. And frankly, it limits our options. I just wanted to let that sink a little bit because aside from the science and the medicine, this has profound impact on our personal lives. And with Revive Therapeutics, we want to expand the options by revolutionizing the IVF treatment for women with reduced ovarian reserve. And we're going to do this by using non-hormonal drugs to pause ovarian aging right before the stage when it is too late. This is a busy slide, but I wanted to drag your attention to the right side, where is our value proposition, because with Revive Therapeutics, we really say that we're going to push for having more babies Freudian slip there, with fewer IVF cycles for women with low ovarian reserve. This is a non-hormonal treatment that doesn't interfere with your cycle. It is really meant to empower women to have a family on their terms, despite age or genetic issues or cancer. And it will be a first-in-class platform for promoting assets in the ovarian aging space. And this leads me to the market, because the ovarian aging and the fertility market is a booming space, as you can see here. The market was estimated at 47 billion. There's big pharma players in this space, but there's also smaller companies that target the improving IVF. But if you focus on the lowest bubble there, there's only a few other companies that look at specifically ovarian aging. Now, how would we access this market? My proposal is that while biotech have 3 paths to accessing market, for us, the most suitable would be an asset creation and out-licensing or partnering. What this actually means is that we would be creating and validating the asset, the drug, and then we and myself would pursue pilot projects within innovative schemes within the NHS or partnering with IVFs to get this drug as close as possible to clinical trials, which are extremely expensive, at which point we would partner or out-license to a pharma company. Now, if we were to do this, what would be the space that we would be navigating? This is meant to give you a glimpse at the competition in this space, and I've chosen 2 features of the company that I think position us uniquely. This is the fact that we are specifically targeting ovarian aging as opposed to just aging, and we will be using non-hormonal treatments, which makes us a viable option for women who cannot undergo stimulation during the IVF cycle. Now, in the wrap-up, I'd like to leave you with my vision and go back to the first illustration. Basically, what I'm proposing is, as we learn everything there is to learn and investigate everything there is to investigate about ovarian aging for treating infertility with reduced ovarian reserve, we will be in a perfect space to address other markets, such as natural aging, as menopause, or PCOS, thus giving the opportunity to expand. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to your questions.
Thank you, Maria. So we're going to bring back all our jury members. And if you just want to put it out, if anybody has a question right away, just please go ahead and start. Maria.
Thank you, Maria. For
can you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lene.
You go first.
I was wondering if you could elaborate on the innovative approach that you mentioned with IVF centers and the NHS, and how are you planning to do the partnering or out-licensing, and how is that novel?
Well, I don't think it's very novel in terms of biotechs. It's just one of these routes that has now been made available in the UK. So basically, my proposal is to try to make the preclinical asset as appealing as possible, right? Going into clinical trials for such a small company would really mean sinking a lot of resource. But what we want to do is be able to pilot with this sort of fast tracking of licensing. So this idea would be to partner with the NHS, or to try to find IVF clinics, because for the IVF clinics, a successful therapy means, right, better rates. So while they will mean less cycles, it means better rates and better statistics. Of course, this really requires, in the first months after the seed funding, working with regulators closely to really understand what we need to have in place. So, I'm not yet an expert in the application. I had a look, but we would definitely need to go and work with experts and allocate some resource for that, for making sure we have what's necessary. What would be required from my side is to basically approach these people and try to establish collaborations and find out as much in the space.
Thank you, Maria. Lene, go ahead.
Yes, I'm not quite sure of your target. Do you have some targets in mind in your therapeutic proposals? I didn't see that, or maybe I missed that.
No worries. I can give you an overview, and Dr. Mario can correct me. So from what I understand, we have 2 pathways identified, and the genetic targets. The actual chemical compound is part of the next milestones. So that is not yet, as of yet, validated. But the targets have been identified, and they have functional data from animal models. And if I'm not mistaken, the next milestone is to get validation from human cell lines.
Can
No,
you
yes,
tell me what the
sorry.
targets are again? Inflammaging and I'm sorry.
I can comment about this. We are trying with mouse model and human samples. So to validate the validation of the targets is doing in the same time the mouse model and the human samples.
What's your
So
target? I'm just trying to figure out what your target is.
It's an anti-inflammatory. It's this casting pathway. It's an anti-inflammatory pathway. So it would circumvent hormonal. It's not AMH or any of the other things that are available in the
And
kind of
Lene, we
competitive
just want to
space.
point out that here on the competition itself, what we're judging is how they see a product going to market potentially if all the science
Okay.
works out. So it's
Okay.
mostly about the entrepreneurship. All the science, it would be either Dr. Mario Cordero or AthenaDAO that would be answering towards that. Here
Okay.
it's about the experience, the notions, how they go to market, and more about the entrepreneurial factor. Okay. Just wanted to preamble that again. But I think we're done with it. We're up for the next with the next actual pitch the next pitch. So we're gonna go to Ines. You can. I don't have the list in front of me, so I'm just gonna wait. Oh, for Lucia. So Lucia, she's tuning in from Singapore. So for her, thank you for doing this, and off you go.
Great. Hello, everybody. Today I come to introduce you to Persister, your fertility companion. But before I start, a brief introduction. So I'm Lucia. I'm a business professional completely obsessed with data and market expansion. And I'm also part of the Femtech Association here in Singapore because I'm extremely passionate about women's health, especially after seeing so many women around me struggling with fertility and hormonal issues and even having those issues myself. Which leads me to actually ask you one question. Have you ever felt like it's suddenly too late, like time is slipping away from you? This is how many women feel actually during their reproductive journey because they find out that their fertility is not optimal and they need to resort to additional treatments in order to be able to conceive. This is actually not an isolated issue. According to the World Health Organization, 10% of women, 390 million, have fertility issues. And out of the fertility solutions like IVF, the average success rate is only 39% on average, and that number plummets to 8% after the woman turns 40. Here with Persister, we want to change that. Through initial research, our scientists have found a way to potentially target inflammation in women's body through a non-hormonal solution in order to preserve ovarian reserve and offset the impact of aging and chemotherapy in the ovaries, and even potentially improve menopause symptoms. If you look at the current solutions that we have in the market, you have your traditional fertility treatments like IVF or egg freezing, but these ones are usually more complex and usually take quite an emotional toll on the women's. On top of that, we also have other anti-inflammatory drugs in the market, but there's nothing that specifically targets the ovary like Persister would do. Finally, another thing that gets suggested for fertility concerns are lifestyle solutions like diet and exercise, but at the end of the day, these have a limited effect in your body. Because of how we're able to target the ovarian reserve and potentially offset the impact of aging, we see that the total market opportunity of Persister is huge, and it could target the fertility, longevity, and ultimately menopause market, making a total addressable market of $784 billion. We would want to start targeting that first part, the fertility market, and we believe that the best place to do so is in Singapore. It's the perfect test market. It has a population of 5.6 million and a GDP per capita that is 33% higher than New York or LA on average. Also, the fertility market is growing faster here compared to the worldwide average. And because of the decline in birth rates, the government is investing a lot of money on fertility measures and even co-funds IVF for its citizens. On top of that, it's a hub for medical tourism in Southeast Asia. And you even have a lot of Chinese population coming to Singapore to look for the fertility solutions that they cannot find back in China. Our revenue generation strategy would be through the sale of the prescription pill, and we will look to partner with hospitals, fertility clinics, and pharmacies in order to make the pill available to the end customer, which is women. In order to do this, we're looking for a seed investment of $250K that we will use to set up the company and start building brand awareness through community building. We want to do this by creating educational content on fertility in order to inform women of different issues they could be going through. It's all about awareness. On top of that, we want to start creating the partnerships with our key stakeholders, governments, and either other femtech companies in the space, as we want to start building that market presence whilst we continue to work on the science and the development. Our vision for Persister is that we will become the longevity enabler for women. If you think about it, the average lifespan of women has increased roughly by 20 years since the 20th century, but menopause has only been delayed by 2 years. By targeting fertility and focusing on taking it as a measure of women's health and overall longevity, we are supporting the future of women. And we are also supporting the woman of the future so that she doesn't have to wonder whether it's too late for her. Thank you so much for listening.
Great, thank you, Lucia. And we're bringing back our jury members. Please go ahead. Who first question? Oh, everybody's clear about the pitch.
No, I have a question. So there's lots of awareness tools. What's going to make your tool different than the other awareness tools? So there's period trackers, there's online communities, there's websites. How's Persister different?
Absolutely, absolutely. The way we want to do it is we want to leverage the community of AthenaDAO and ensure that it's science-backed. So at the end of the day, it's about always bringing the science closer to the customer. I think a lot of the times we see a lot of lifestyle advice, but sometimes it's not backed on the science. And we also see a lot of science that stays within the science community and it's not being brought to the end customer. So I think here it's all about bringing awareness and making science more accessible to somebody like me, for example, that doesn't have a medical background.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question.
How do you think about pricing per user, per patient on your platform?
So if you're asking specifically about the educational platform, because we want to bring that brand awareness, it wouldn't be monetized as of right now. We don't have a price for the pill because it would depend on the clinical trials and what the actual science is able to do at the end of the day. But actually, I do feel that the educational platform could be a fallback plan in case the science ends up working in a different way. So we do see that we are open to different commercialization strategies there. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia. So we're trying to keep it at 2 questions per pitch. So thank you. And very well done. Our next competitor, I'm going to again wait for them to come up and it'll be a surprise for me too. Oh, it's Laura and Laura. Laura, thank you so much for being here. She's tuning in from Switzerland. So take it away, Laura.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Overhealth brings you ovary wealth. Good afternoon. I'm Laura Camuri. I'm sorry, I'm not changing the slides. I'm Laura Camuri. I'm a scientist by background with 15 years of experience in life science, entrepreneurship, innovation promotion, and startup acceleration. As a woman who has experienced fertility issues, I really understand the profound impact that knowledge and innovative treatments have on women and couples. It's actually thanks to these advancements and after a long and emotional journey that I'm the proud mother of a wonderful 5-year-old boy. I want the same for others. I want women to have options. And I will tell you now how overhealth can help in this journey. Women now have more options for their fertility and often choose to have children later in life. What it's not a choice though, it's our biology. Fertility naturally declines with age, and ovarian reserve significantly decrease after the age of 30, which is the average age of first pregnancy in the Western world. The consequences? Well, 1 in 6 couples struggle to conceive. Currently, there is no treatment to protect against the decline of ovarian reserve, and existing solutions are costly, invasive, and they don't always work because often it's too late. Our solution aims to preserve and enhance female fertility by reducing chronic inflammation before it's too late. This builds upon the innovative research of Dr. Cordero Laboratory from Spain. Our solution spans across the woman fertility journey to help preserve her fertility when she's not ready to have a baby or wants to keep her options open, or maximizes her chances of success, or to help her if she needs to go through fertility treatments because of natural or premature loss of ovarian reserve. Beyond this, our solution can create a pipeline of opportunities in the longer term, for example, expanding the health span of perimenopausal women. So we are tapping into a fertility market which is predicted to reach 84 billion by 2028. This is bearing in mind that one in 5 women have fertility issues with decreased ovarian reserve. That plays a major role. IVF solutions are expensive and fertility treatments are mostly funded out of pocket. We are targeting Generation Z women with their growing awareness of their health needs, their holistic approach to health, and their view of healthcare as self-care. Our solution is differentiated in its affordability, ease of use, and positive health span impact. There are few solutions in the market for ovarian aging with limited efficacy and safety data, and a few are in development. Amongst these, our solution stands out by specifically targeting chronic inflammation, a key hallmark of aging. This allows us to bring a more holistic approach to female fertility and overall health span in women. Our business model revolves around the sale of prescription drugs through healthcare professionals. We plan to establish a strategic partnership with leading fertility clinics, offering our product as bundled services. We also aim to collaborate with femtech companies, combining our solution with home testing. By integrating these elements and leveraging the data obtained from research and patient feedback, we aim to generate insights to feed pipeline development. We want to raise $250,000 to take us through the end of 2024. We will use this money to define the patient journey, gathering insights for our target market, marketing and communication to raise awareness, and to start owning the space of ovarian aging. We will map and connect with the ecosystem and do team profiling in preparation for the next steps. All of this, of course, in parallel with the R&D drug development activities that we are undertaking. Please join us in this exciting journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. Well done. From our judges, any questions? Maria?
Yes,
I was wondering.
And Mario.
Oh,
We'll
Mario.
go-
Maria,
Maria and then Mario, thank you.
Yes.
I was wondering what would be the incentive of the fertility clinics to partner with you if your drug works and there are less patients for them to treat with IVF?
I think it's providing more options and also potentially targeting also those women that want to start earlier by having also fertility preservation treatments. So that on those two aspects.
Okay,
Thank you, Laura. Mario?
Yes, Laura, thank you very much. I have only a question. Why a clinical trial is to lupus erythematosus and not, for example, low ovarian reserve patients?
I think the idea will be to start with something that we can, we have already some in genetic indications in humans, and to start with a more simplified path to the regulatory and approval pathway by working on a smaller indication. Once that route it's up and going, then you can expand and try to look for other further indication. But the idea was really to start with something that we already have additional data. It's got a very defined patient populations, and also there are more defined clinical diagnostic markers that help us to follow the treatments and then expand the indication after undertaking this regulatory route.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura. And
thank you for your questions. Thank you.
Very well done. Thanks again. Next up, we have Neha Suresh. As you can tell, somebody actually started sending me the names. And I'm sorry for all our past pitch competitors that I only called you by your first name, but you do have a chance to introduce yourself properly. Neha, are you ready? Take it away.
Hi, thank you so much. So I would like to introduce Innova Biosciences, your partner in ovarian wellness. So my name is Neha. I'm a biological engineer. Previously, I've co-founded Utero, a startup creating an endometriosis diagnostic. I'm an alumnus of the iGEM Startups program and one runner-up in the overall program last year in Paris. I am an advocate for women's health, most importantly. Ovarian aging is the main underlying cause of a lot of women who are struggling with infertility and early menopause, severely limiting their reproductive autonomy and quality of life. NOAA envisions a world where a woman has the power to shape her reproductive journey, where the pursuit of short-term profits takes a backseat to the enduring quality of life. The main consumer targets are female cancer patients who are undergoing chemotherapy, unfortunately leading to loss of fertility, patients with the diminished ovarian reserve, and poor responder IVF patients, and patients with fertility-linked autoimmune diseases. The product is a small molecule inhibitor which interferes with the C-gas sting pathway, preserving ovaries. The three-pillar approach that I would like to propose today is that first, there is outcome-based fertility partnerships which incentivize clinics on key metrics like embryo viability. For example, if meaningful improvements to the KPIs, the key metrics lift in live births, for example, 10% lift in live births, NOAA receives 60% of the upside revenue above the base target thresholds, and the contract will have a minimum annual contract value guaranteeing NOAA some revenue. Second is the care subscriptions with oncology hospitals, which provide unlimited access to cancer patients. Finally, the direct-to-consumer pathways upon regulatory approval, which give women more direct treatment control. The US alone has a $40 billion SAM, the service addressable market, which helps around 175,000 fertility patients every year. Our creative business structure could enable a wide-scale adoption of this therapy, giving women more reproductive autonomy. Our closest competitor in the space is Oviva. So they use the anti-Mullerian hormone and to improve ovarian function. Our patient-centric business model and easier path to the direct-to-consumer market sets us apart. Upon regulatory approval, the diversifying and leveraging both expanded licensing deal and real-world data monetization in a HIPAA-compliant manner would be an ideal strategy. So I'm raising $250,000 as a pre-seed round for 18-month preclinical development and initiating clinical partnerships for real-world evidence. The next milestones are the IND filings in 2025, trials in 2026, and with this cooperative business model prioritizing patient benefit over isolated revenue, we hope to achieve commercial approval by 2027. Join me in rewriting the stories of women who deserve more than what the current healthcare landscape offers, that is more reproductive autonomy. I've condensed everything in this presentation into a PDF, which you can access through this QR code. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Neha. Anyone wants to go with the first question? Everybody's being shy on this presentation. It was so great. Neha, I'll ask the question. In terms, why did you choose the strategy in commercialization this way, the B2B and then B2C?
I chose it because the fertility centers, a partnership with fertility centers would be mutually beneficial. That's the first thing. And a mutually beneficial partnership would first involve them having a successful one cycle would give them more revenue as compared to a lost cycle. And whereas in the oncology labs, they'll be in a position to, the oncology labs already have a PRP, there's a plasma rejuvenating ovaries treatment, and that's an injectable treatment. So they already have that as a part of their treatment cycle. So I was hoping to maybe work this therapy into their contracts as well, because it would help both the parties involved.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the judges? No. Well, great presentation. Thank you, Neha. And our very last pitch competitor is Stefania Howe, who's joining us from London. I want to remind everybody that these pitches are to look at the business strategy, if they address the market size, if they understand the problem, and obviously the level of entrepreneurship, if you believe that these founders will be able to take a company forward with the right science and the right clinical data and science actually do working out, which I have to preamble. They're taking a scientific project in research right now. And three of them of our pitch competitors are actually not scientists. So very well done by everybody so far. And Stefania, you're the last one. All the best. Thank you again.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Stefania, and I'm very excited to introduce you to Ovita, which is a groundbreaking solution aiming to combat ovarian aging. Everyone says age 35 is a young age. Maybe yes, but not for women. For women, represents a critical time when the chances of having a baby decrease by the minute due to ovarian aging. The few solutions out there are ineffective and unaffordable. And unfortunately, no matter the background, we're all victims of ovarian aging. Thankfully, our great scientists have already done great progress in finding a solution for this, and Ovita specifically inhabits key pathways that contribute to ovarian aging. This unique approach has shown promising results in mice, as well as the target has been validated in humans. Our target market represents women of different ages. Women under 25 represent 30% of the market. Women in their mid-20s and 30s represent half of the market, and women above 35 years old represent 20% of the market. But really, women undergoing chemotherapy is the target market we're primary testing for. Why? Because cancer doesn't care about the age and affects women in all age ranges. And while this is very tragic, it's a great opportunity for our product to be tested in all age groups, as well as having an impact on the patients. Why? Because chemotherapy accelerates ovarian inflammation and aging and reduces fertility in cancer patients. We've developed a methodology in 3 steps: preclinical tests on animal models, followed by preclinical tests on chemotherapy-treated animal models, concluding with trial tests on age-sampled chemotherapy patients. It's a great opportunity as the oncology market was valued at $220 billion in 2023, and we will have an even broader impact as new cancer cases are expected to rise by 47% by 2040. In the next 5 years, we are trying to accomplish significant scientific milestones from preliminary research to advanced development, clinical testing, ongoing clinical data, and signing up commercial strategy and spin-out with a big pharma. As I mentioned, we are targeting different age groups, so our go-to-market strategy has been specifically tailored for these age groups. For younger generation, we want to educate and create awareness through women's health blogs, along with podcasts or conferences. For women in their workforce era, I would say, our strategy is B2B partnerships with companies like Fertifa, who are already collaborating with employers to tackle reproductive health for their employees. And lastly, for women undergoing chemotherapy, we want to partner with institutions that tackle cancer or fertility, such as the Institute of Cancer Research or NHS. The ask is $250K, and we will use the proceeds for research and development, business development, and to cover some operational costs. This funding will set Ovita up in the route to prepare for an IND application. Why me? I'm coming from a technical and business background, building and selling early-stage products in biotech and ESG space. I'm experienced in go-to-market strategy and fundraising in both the US and Europe. Join me and the team to the path of transforming women's healthcare. Thank you.
Very good, Stefania. Thank you so much. One of the judges want to go ahead. Maria.
Hi, well done. Can you elaborate a little bit on the market size? I think you mentioned one number, which was the oncology market as a whole, but how that's then segmented into women and then women with cancer of reproductive age, and how many of them you could reach, because some of them would go for IVF, like freezing eggs.
Okay, so the way I approach this, maybe it's a bit different, but that's exactly because I'm not necessarily coming from a scientific background. So how I thought about this is that within like 20s and perimenopause period, there are women who are undergoing chemotherapy. So the market for oncology, which chemotherapy is a sub-market of oncology from the research I've done, is 220 billion as of 2023. But unfortunately, when I was trying to calculate the total addressable market in the different ages of women, I could only find accurate data as of 2020, and there was like 2.2 million women undergoing chemotherapy per year in 2020. but I didn't want to use inaccurate data on this presentation. Hence, I decided more to look at the oncology market rather than giving specific market numbers for each of the age groups. Hope that answers a bit the question.
I just have one quick question. Can you just like one sentence tell me what the unit, like what are the, how are you going to make money? That's what I want to know. What's your unit economics? Like, how are you selling to the patients who are going through chemotherapy?
So my idea is that we have a spin out around year 5 to a big pharma. So that's my exit strategy, and that's how we would monetize this. The cancer patients would only be the primary target market we would test this drug with.
Okay, so you would sell to pharma a community or a educational content?
So as I mentioned in the scientific milestones, there was a 5 years timestamp where I mentioned different milestones we would achieve each year. So the idea, in order for us to understand if this drug works or if this product works, would be to test it on chemotherapy patients, as chemotherapy affects more ovaries aging. But this drug would, like, the idea would be that Ovita partners with a big pharma or is acquired by big pharma by year 5, and that's how we would monetize this. And also we would get R&D from AthenaDAO, and that would help us start the process. So we would start as a small biotech, but eventually we would have an exit strategy. That was my thought process.
Thank you.
So I guess here, what you mean, the commercialization would be doing by a partner that knows how to do that. Technically, if the science works out, that would be your ideal scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, everybody. We've seen our 5 finalists. We're going to have now our women's health panel, and we'll be back after the panel with the winner's name.
So hello, everyone. So now it's, as Laura mentioned, it's time for the panel. And I'm going to bring on stage Rhiannon Jones, and I'm waiting for Nan to also join. But basically, we have been like talking a lot about women's health and also femtech, as mentioned. But I will have in this panel 2 people that are experts and have been working in this field for a long time. So I will ask Rhiannon to go first, introduce yourself, and then Nan, if you can also do the same.
Amazing. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So thank you for inviting me to join the panel. As Ines said, I work as a futurist, so that probably sounds pretty conceptual, but what I do is look to kind of the next 10 years, map out how different forces are shaping change within the market, impacting the way women think, feel, act, and make sure that we have the products ready for them. That's basically it in a nutshell.
Nan?
Hi, my name is Nandini. I am an angel investor and a startup mentor specifically focused on female health. I used to run a femtech company back in 2020. We were focused on menstrual wellness and PCOS care. We got acquired in 2022, and ever since then, I've been working towards supporting other startups through my experiences. Excited to be here.
Cool. I have a question that's a little bit of a challenge. I think like the femtech concept is quite new. It has been around for a few years, but not that many. But we have been hearing some like discussions and some comments that it might not be helping as much to have a concept as we would like it to be. So we have on one side we have femtech, on the other side we have women's health research and biotech. So I would like to understand from your experience, like how do you see this? Is like femtech basically advancing innovation, helping us get more products and good services out there, or is hindering innovation somehow? Rhiannon, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I would say both. So I think without the term femtech, I never would have found my co-founder, who I started my futures agency with. I never would have been able to connect and network within the space in the way that I have. So it's been super useful in finding other people who connect with the same kind of term, whether it's the right term or not. On the flip side, the amount of people I get saying to me, you know, well, you specialize in femtech, that doesn't include XXX, you know, it doesn't include certain marginalized communities, it doesn't include certain innovations. So I use femtech in its broadest term, and it's understood. So I definitely think we're moving towards finding a new term, but we're not quite there yet, and it's very helpful in bringing people together. So Nana, I'd love to hear your side of it.
But do you want to tell us a little bit what that new term might be? You are a futurist, so you can start like thinking a little bit more ahead.
Yeah, I've moved towards kind of health tech because it feels less binary. Just women's and marginalized communities health. It's a wordy title, but I do think if you can't capture something in a nice, neat term that really is inclusive, then let's use the full sentence.
Okay. Nen?
All right. No, I mean, I think the word is 10 years old, right? Biotech, or at least biohealth research on women's health has existed for a lot longer. But I'm going to think that maybe in the past 10 years is when, you know, awareness of, you know, the gap in research, awareness of, you know, health itself and female health, you know, has grown in the past 10 years. So I'm going to thank that word for what it's done, which is basically improving awareness, taking some established research and using technology to apply it to the daily lives of women, you know, whether it's a period tracker, whether it's a wearable, all of that I would count as a win. But that said, I think there's now become a dichotomy, at least from the investing standpoint. So if it's femtech, it's viewed as a quick commercial win, but there's lower barriers to competition, lower defensibility. Whereas if it's biotech research-based, it's longer, more expensive, it's a health industry play, but there's IP, there's patentability, right? And there's no problem with the classification because there's a need for both. You need awareness and commercialization, and you also need IP-based, science-backed innovations that will truly deliver results. And there's investors who focus exclusively on one or the other or both. And that's all great in a time when, you know, like there's a lot of funding in the market, but I think 2023 was a pretty dry year as far as funding goes. And in that kind of time, I think it might impact longer plays, research-led innovation. And that, I think, might be a challenge.
No, for sure. Now, moving a little bit from this topic, last week, the McKinsey Health Institute launched this new report mentioning that women's health is $1 trillion opportunity, right? So it's like I was reading it and found like super interesting to see like how this is clearly a massive opportunity. And this is not the first time that they are saying this. They are not the only one saying this. But the reality is we still see very little funding going to women's health. And even in the report, you can see that there are areas of research where a lot of funding goes to, but then there are areas that impact women's life very dramatically that receive very, very little funding. So my question to you is like, basically, why is this? Why are we in 2024 still takes 10 years to diagnose a person with a woman with endometriosis or PCOS, but we don't see that as an opportunity, or we see it as an opportunity, but for some reason the funding is not being direct there. So what's your take on this?
I think fundamentally, women do not have the power in the economic decisions and political decisions that kind of hold up the infrastructure that we need to drive that investment. We haven't got the seat at the table that we're looking for. But I guess from an investment perspective, Nan, you're much more qualified to speak from that angle. So I'd love to hear your point of view. But I think what we're seeing is like the social change is ahead of maybe some of those other areas.
I'll tell you a little story about back when we used to pitch for FEMC. So we had 4 additional slides whenever we saw a male investor that we are pitching to as opposed to a female, because though the research exists for each business model, for each company that's pitching, to make it personal, to sell the case that there is a market, it is 50% of the population of the planet or some subset of that, that case really needs to be made. And that is, I would say, the first challenge. The second challenge is, at the end of the day, investors want to invest in something that's safer. They don't want to take a 3-year bet on something that may or may not be patentable, defensible. And I think to actively address that, we need to start the funding from the roots, from the research, to build defensible business models, patentable business models based on IP. And I think those will actually deliver a lot more impact in the long run. So if you look at my cohort of companies that came out in 2020, most of the companies that started out as a marketplace model, as a aggregator engine, they're all acquired today for, I won't say huge sums, but the ones that were based on innovation, they've gone on to raise additional funding rounds. They're really penetrating and making a difference in the market. Not to diss marketplace models, there's definitely a need for them, but I think IP-based businesses would make it a lot more easy to attract funding.
I think there's also something to be said around storytelling. It's something that I spoke to a lot of the finalists about as they were kind of writing their pitches, is selling a vision of the future that investors can really get behind. I think at the moment we're looking at a really tough landscape and getting them to understand the growth and the market growth, and then the social change that will support that is really critical. And a lot of that is visioning, right? It's taking them to a place where every woman already has a tracker, that there are certain biomarkers that they're tracking daily, and they will want the solutions for them. So picture of like social, technological, political change that upholds the idea that we are trying to launch and sell here, I think is also vital. So it's a combination of exactly what you're saying in terms of all the science stuff, but also tapping into the stories around social change.
Yeah, I think like something that I think it's also important is also to show that I think like as women also become more aware, because I feel like the topics of menopause and others, until recently we didn't talk about it, we didn't know much about it. But I think as women are becoming more aware, we'll also demand more. We'll also put more of our money into research, into companies and so on. So I think like we are definitely at the start of a very positive cycle, but it takes some time, right? So, but we are here. That's why AthenaDAO exists, to accelerate that process. But there's a lot that we can do there. So, thank you very much. This was a very short panel, but very excited to have you here, sharing a little bit more about your experience. So, I'm going to take you out of the stage. We are ready to basically announce the winners. So Laura is going to join us, right. And we'll be able to announce the winners. I think everyone is nervous to know who is going to be the AthenaDAO's first entrepreneur in residence, and we will be able to go from there.
Our winner today is Dr. Maria Suchi. Maria, if you want to come. Congratulations. We're very excited about you winning this competition. We're very excited that we had such amazing entrepreneurs also pitch, and all of you are really winners, but obviously we have to choose at the end one top person because we only have enough budget for one trip, but everybody else can obviously stay in the community and we can continue building. Maria, I'm going to let you say some words.
Thank you very much. First of all, I just wanted to say it's been a great opportunity, and I loved meeting the other finalists. I loved the synergies and the kind of common threads we found through our pitches, and just learned a lot from them and learned a lot from the community. So thank you very much. I also enjoyed being part of the process and just getting to know more of the community, and look forward to being more involved, on the various streams of AthenaDAO and meeting everyone in person. Thank you very much.
Yes, Maria, you're going to be spending a lot of time with us online, and then we're going to see you in Portugal in March. I want to also thank our panelists for the women's health conversation. And if we could bring all our jury members back with Maria here for a final goodbye and thank you, and any last words from all of you who are supporters and builders and scientists in women's health. Thank you again for being part of our community. You're all very dear to us, and we're very glad that now Maria is also going to be building with all of you. So I'll let Lene go first, please.
Yeah, it's always a good day when there's scientists who are working to advance women's health, and AthenaDAO is facilitating that and bringing new, I think, avenues and directions for reproductive science to flourish. So welcome, Maria, to the team. And yeah, now we'll have to specify which Maria.
Very true, and they're both doctors, so
yeah, Maria with Maria M. versus
Dr. Mario Cordero.
Oh, we can't hear you.
We don't hear you.
Congratulations, Maria.
Thank you very
I am
much.
happy for you because this is very interesting also for me because I am only a scientist. I only know about science. So I have to learn from you about a company, a commercial, a trial, and all these topics. So I'm very happy because I think we can do together a very interesting project to get these ideas as soon as possible with the patients.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mario. And again, I love that Alok's name is the first one in the alphabet, but he's last but not least. Alok, please go ahead.
No, just wanted to say congratulations both to Maria as well as the other participants. Having participated in these before as a founder, I know it's always a lot of ups and downs emotionally, but I think the most enjoyable and exciting parts of company building are ahead of all of you. So hopefully this is just one step forward. So congratulations.
And I'm, of course, going to let our other core member, Maria Marinova, to say some words because she's going to be working very close with this Maria. Maria, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for all of the participants and congratulations, Maria. I'm looking forward to working with you in the future. Also, I want to say that I love to see AthenaDAO being a matchmaker for scientists and entrepreneurs that can build companies together.
Thank you very much. And thank you, everyone. It was a great experience.
And again, thank you, everybody, or jury member, or jury, all the competitors, all of the women that pitched. Thank you coming. You're still part of the AthenaDAO community. We still want to build you where there's going to be a lot of these opportunities. We're just getting started. So you're now part of AthenaDAO. And this was just for one thing that we're doing, but we're going to be building so many things. And I do hope, as I said, even before the competition, that you actually do join the fellowship program and stay on board with us because all of your pitches were amazing. And it was a very, very close competition, to be honest with you. So you're all winners today. Thank you so much. And there's so much opportunity in women's health that is just, that it's okay if you're not number one today. There's still so much to do. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. And see you on Discord. And congratulations again to Maria. And stay in women's health. There's so much to do. We're going to be doing a lot of exciting things this year and in the future. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ness. Great job powering this.